take into account that this is a very familiar environment. We are friends, we know each other. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for accepting the invitation of Mr. Romeo Franz to participate at this edition. It's a pleasure to have you here after 2 years of COVID pandemic when we didn't see each other, and my heart is full of joy to see so many new faces. It was difficult to get you in this morning, but we managed to do it because we care and because we love each other. With this being said, I am declaring the Romani Week 2022 open. We are going to start by listening to the European Union anthem. Afterwards, we will have Mrs. Rodica Tudor. You know her very well, she's my sister. She will sing for us the Romani anthem, and then we will have also our colleagues, the musicians, who will sing for you a couple of songs so you can detention a bit after this long beginning of the morning. After all of this will be done, we are going to start with the interventions of our high distinguished guests and main hosts of the European Parliament. Vlad, if we are ready with the European Union anthem, please go ahead, and I'm kindly asking all of you to stand up. Great, I'm kindly asking you to stay like this. It was in Romanian, as you could hear, but it is happening when you do things, and a lot of things. It's okay. Now I'm kindly inviting you to listen to the Romani anthem sang by Rodica Tudor. She will sing it a cappella. Rodi, please.
Gelin lungo le dromenza maladile bachtan le romenza ai romale cartar tu me ave et aprenza Allegianza ai Romalen ai Chavalen ai Romalen Aslan i Galileja, sare činjas, virom e viromnje, maškalente, vitim ne čavore.
Thanks a lot. We are going to continue with the musical background. You can sit down with the musical interpretation of another two valuable Romanes singer. Mr. Franz will actually say their name because I would like to give you the honor to have their name spelled by Mr. Franz. They already started.
Thank you very much, Prana. Paul Zamora at the violin. Emilio Kapokuta at the guitar. Barilace Bashapanga. Rachel de Blessa.
Great. I think it was a nice and relaxing opening of the Romani week. Now we are going to proceed with the speeches of our guests. I would like to introduce to you the main host, one of the main hosts of the Romani week, the member of the European Parliament, the only Sinto member of the European Parliament from Germany, and the rapporteur of the European Parliament for Romani Equality and Inclusion, my boss, my brother, my best friend, Mr. Romeo Franz.
Thank you, Prana. Kana mera ka baba romanis apo ko hi sitting romanis ko na jinin ko ikote baba chandis. That's the reason that I will speak now in English and our translator will translate it in Romanes. So, dear Vice President, dear colleagues, and dear friends, dear brothers and sisters. I'm really happy that we can now have our Romani days here. 2 years it was not possible to do it about the COVID-19 pandemic. And now maybe we have a bigger slot to do a physical meeting and to make now the Romani days. And I'm very happy that we can be here, can speak each other, can inform us, and that's very important for me to have the contact to my people. And I'm very happy that my brothers are here, Peter, with Dan and Marius, Mesim Romani Chave, und Kova Himangi Bud Moldo. It's a very big value for me that we are here together and to speak our ideas and how we can achieve our goals. Now we are here in the parliament. It's not somewhere in a hotel or what. We have here very hard procedures too. I must respect them, and I hope we will respect them all. The procedures are very important here, but I think we will have good days here and to share with us our informations. Today is a very special day, the start of the 5th Romani Week in European Parliament, in which we use the time to discuss the problems and challenges of this largest minority in Europe and most discriminated against, together with Romani people and people from the majority society, to find answers to urgent questions of their particular poor social and economic situation, and to anti-Gypsyism, the structural and institutional racism which is the root cause of their exclusion. But today is also the day where Romani communities across Europe mark the 78th anniversary of the Romani Resistance Day. We commemorate the Romani women and men who resisted with all their strength against the threatened extermination. Those who bitterly resisted being murdered in the gas chambers against the heavily armed SS in Auschwitz-Birkenau on May 16, 1944, using stones and tools for the defense, and barricaded themselves in the barracks of the so-called Gypsy camp. This uprising in Camp Section 2B of Auschwitz-Birkenau was a high point in the resistance that Romani people put up in a variety of ways against persecution and exterminations by the National Socialists. And indeed, these brave women and men managed to escape their extermination for a while. The testimonies of survivors from neighboring camps reveal a rarely told story of the Pojamos and their victims who fought to the last moment for life and humanity. They could delay their death, but not prevent it. We remember them all, and we honor them today for their strength, their determination, and their desperate fight. May 16th is also a reminder that there is no destructive force that cannot be rebelled, confronted, or opposed. Myself, I lost 6 aunts and uncles in Auschwitz-Birkenau. They, too, were rebelled, were murdered. It is therefore also a very personal day for me, on which I think of my family members and draw the strength to commit myself every day to fight anti-Gypsyism, which despite this dark history still prevails in Europe. And even worse, it increased. The COVID-19 pandemic has shown evidence. We need to stay vigilant and to act, especially today, where a new war has come over Europe, where refugees are not threatened the same way. The European peace order has been disrupted, and our democracies and values are challenged. Dear colleagues, dear friends, nothing is for granted. We have to fight for our values because evil can rise again. Therefore, it is essential to fight discrimination and all kinds of racism, to fight for inclusion and for equal participation for all people, regardless of their ethnicity, skin color, religion, or sexual orientation. And it profoundly encourage me that so many people share the same values and ideas, who tirelessly get involved and engage themselves in the civil society and the policy making, who work together in all essentials areas in life and who fight for fairer, more inclusive and equal societies. Let me end with a quote of the philosopher Hannah Arendt. Evil is always extreme, but never radical. It has no deepness, no demons either. It can devastate the whole world precisely because it continues to grow like a mushroom on the surface. But only the good is deep and radical. Thank you all for being here. Nice to meet you. For commemorating the Romani Resistance Day and for committing to a better future for our Romani people with this year's Romani Week. Thank you very much. Now I will give the floor my brother, Peter Pollack.
Najsaraftu kapela. Prala Romeo, Franc, prala Dandogi, Pačivale Rania, Pačivale Raja, Pačivale Amala. Som bachtalov kaj vašo Европейско parlamentost menge da živešaj penaf. Veľkom ju, ano, da bešesko Romano Kurko. Andro palne duberša sabe peso Romano Kurko ispidlias andro virtualno tan, pes butačilas. Peršo sa ze pandemia COVID dešuenja, sabe mekže akana hin, a akana hin o mariben andre Ukrajina te refugee crisis. Andre kada momentos ine vrama pro challenge andro klimatické čeribenava i andro dron pre digitalizácia no te pro challenge andre sabe o Roma terjon budberša sabe hin o čoriben e diskriminácia. Kada sa vorova men musaj te crdelka i te gondolina sarpreja da žive se skrivrama no te pre anguni vrama. Andre kada momentos nikona žanolka na omariben andre Ukrajina pes pandela. No musajte pačalka i pes Rakela osmirom pre savoreseri. Andro Europejsko parlamentos akana hin pro skaminto rezultati andre konferencija palanguni pen la Europakro. Europejsko unija da hin a da žives pro crossroad. A da žives pes kere languni pen savi avela Europa tajsa. O europejske manuša mangenka Europa te avel tajsa feroveder socialender biočori pen ka Europa te avel tan andre savo sakon este avel šanca te barel peskro potencialos te kerel sako peske su nengre
Mr.
realizacija.
Polak, if I may interrupt you, I'm really sorry. The Romanes English interpretation is not working. Okay, so English Romanes 25, English 2, channel 2. I'm really sorry, Mr. Polak. You can go on. Dui, okay?
Začet.
Dui
Okay.
for English, 2 for English.
Okay, idemo od začetka.
Yes, you have to say it from the
Okay.
beginning, please. I'm really sorry.
Okay. Pačivale Rania, Pačivale Raja, prala Romeo Franc, prala Dandogi. Som bachtalok aj vašo Europejsko parlamentost tu menge šaja da žive spenaf veľkom ju a da bešeskro Romano Kurko. Andro palne duberša save peso Romano Kurko ispidlas andro virtualno tana pes butačilas. Peršo sa ze pandemia COVID dešuenja, save mekže akana hin, a akana hin o mariben andre Ukrajina te refugee crisis. Andre kada momentos ine evrama pro challenge andro klimatické čeribena, vaj andro dron pre digitalizácia, no te pro challenge andre save o romater John Budberša, savino čoriben, te diskriminácia. Kada sa voromen musajte crdel, kaj te gondolina sarpre a da živseski vrama, no te pre anguni vrama. Andre kada momentos niko na žanelka na omariben andre Ukrajina pes pandela, non musajte pačal kaj pe se rakela o smirom pre favoreseri. And Europeisko parlamento zakana hin proscaminto rezultati andale conferenția palo Angluni pena la Europacro. Europeisko unia hin adagives pro crossroad. Adagives pescherelo o Angluni pena savi avela Europa taisa. O europeiske manuša mangen kaj Europa te avel taisa, feroveder, socialeder, biočuripen kaj Europa te avel tan, adresavo sakones, te avel šanca te bararel peskro potencialos, te kerel peske sako peske sunenge realizacija. Gondolinav kaj idea hin le romengri. Ne namištes kaj andro pod proceso spalo Europacro Angluni pen na sas šunde avri o Roma. Kada me penavas pro buter tana tepre paluni brama. Le Romen hin tan ander Europa. Roma hine pandle la Europa historicky. In but importantno kaj o Roma musaita vel Andre savore changes kaj te naven mukle pro agor le interesoske no kaj te rachinol pez le romenca sarsakone Europanenca. Save hine prekal jeketa niben benefitos no lout sarpes oda varisave manuša na lout sarpes oda varisave manuša buterval prezentinen. Oda peske mangel te bararel te bareder manga anganižiben te amendar le romendar. Pačivale amala pačavka i vaškala dživesamen personalne rakaha te kaj but eventi save peskerna andro Romano Kurko avena benefitne pre te interesantne predal amende savorende. Mangaftu menge efektivno Romano Kurko, but sa stipente bak savorenge a pačavka je kada Kurko avla pedal sakonest amende importantno anela o efekto savore užaras. Najsaraftu menge.
The next speaker will be our brother Dan Dogi from the European Commission. Dan, you have the floor.
Thank you. Honorable members of the European Parliament, Romeo Franz and Peter Polak, distinguished participants, Marius Tudor, our colleague and friend, coordinator of Roma Week, and ladies and gentlemen. Pralalen te penjalen te avensa steta I bachtale sauren, falmange bocciucar, che sem avdivestumenza cate, anducadodes savisi la bari semnificația amendal, poamari Romani Zuralipen, Roma Resistance Day. Amendas pativ ta ingerasco di le codolen șov milia Roma socherdean rezistenția mamuje nazistore ando Auschwitz-Birkenau campo. Bari gratulația vaša amaro pral Romeo Franz, amaro gazda vaša Romano Curco, taju Peter Polak, o lidui amare politiciarea socheren but vașno, taj but laci, buti and Evropaco Parlamento, temarelo rasismo, taj discriminația so sicardo o Parlament Rom ande sa Europa. Na isarastu menge rodica kai gila padian amaro himno. Mesemo Dan Pavel Dogi, avau catare Romania, tai cherav buti and Evropaki Comisia. My name is Dan Dogi. I'm leading the Roma team of the non-discrimination and Roma coordination unit of the DG Justice of the European Commission. I would like to say a few words about the European frameworks that are of relevance for Roma. On October 2020, the European Commission adopted a strengthened EU Roma strategic framework for equality, inclusion and participation until the end of this decade, by 2030. This EU framework sets out a comprehensive three pillars approach with a stronger focus this time as compared with the previous Roma framework, which places a strong emphasis on fighting against discrimination, anti-Roma racism and anti-Gypsyism. This goes hand in hand with a social inclusion and promotion of active participation of Roma. This framework acknowledges that while not all Roma are socio-economically disadvantaged, all Roma can be actually targeted by prejudice, racism, anti-Gypsyism, and discrimination. This EU framework has been further reinforced by a unanimously adopted Council recommendation by all Member States in March 2021. This recommendation encourages Member States to fight anti-Roma racism and anti-Gypsyism, as well as stereotyping, hate speech, hate crimes, and violence against Roma, both online and offline. I would like to mention that besides or together with this important EU Roma framework, there are the legally binding instruments of the EU of direct relevance for the Roma, namely the Racial Equality Directive and the Council Framework Decision on combating racism and xenophobia. We all must do our best to make a most efficient use and to work with the Roma civil to get national authorities to ensure that Roma are fully treated and live a dignified life free of racism and discrimination. This Roma Week will host a large number of events, and I look forward to participate in most of them and have fruitful discussions about how we can take this European advocacy work of Roma further. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Kan si min video message from Maripen Zola Kondua, Drani Ukraina. Now we have a video message from Zola Kondua, our sister. She comes from Ukraine, from the Roma team leader. And now we can start the video message.
She's online.
She's online. Okay, you have the floor, Zola.
Actually, she works for the European Council of Europe in Strasbourg. So she is online. She will connect. We have the colleagues there. Is she online?
No.
Yes.
Okay. The floor is yours, Zola.
Challenges to the protection of the rights of Roma. In these circumstances, it is important that international and other humanitarian organizations and agencies understand the specific risks faced by minorities and do their utmost to mitigate these risks. Roma representatives inform us that they have already documented repeated cases of Roma not being able to receive safe evacuation passage due to a lack of documentation and IDs, as well as cases of discrimination in the allocation of basic humanitarian assistance in some countries hosting and receiving refugees from Ukraine. They also stress the need to monitor human rights violations, to establish a human rights hub to document potential war crimes against Roma and other vulnerable groups, and to provide legal support to internally displaced Roma, as well as to those who have moved abroad. The NGO's representatives called on the media, politicians, and public figures to report accurately on stories relating to Roma and other minorities in Ukraine, to consult with Ukrainian and Roma civil society organizations, and refrain from making statements that may contribute to disinformation or stereotyping of Roma. Of course, all these inputs and information that was received during the consultation meeting was used for the planning of the work of the Council of Europe with Roma in Ukraine through the project on national minorities and Roma. And we will be doing our best to provide all possible support to our Roma communities in Ukraine. As Roma from Ukraine, as a person who became a refugee, I would like to thank everyone, every person, every institution, every NGO, every Roma mediator, politicians for your continuous support to Ukraine. The support that you provide saves lives of many people, thousands and millions of people. And I want to ask you to keep supporting Ukraine, to keep supporting Roma people in our country. I hope that we will continue our effective cooperation to support those Roma in need in Ukraine and all over the Europe. And I thank you very much for this opportunity to raise the issues of Roma, of Ukraine, but also to speak about the work that we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Zola. Now we will have a video message from our Vice President Dimitrios Papadimoulis.
Dear friends, it is an honor to welcome you today to the Romani Week 2022, which has been organized by RD, the European Parliament Anti-Racism and Diversity Intergroup. I'm sorry I cannot be present in person, but with this video, I wish to commemorate with you. This event is an occasion to remember. On 16 May 1944, more than 600 Roma prisoners in Auschwitz did not show up for the usual morning roll call, but barricaded themselves into their barracks. Thanks to this act of resistance, no Roma prisoner died in the gas chambers on that day. This reminds us that Roma were persecuted, deported, and killed by the Nazi regime, but it also reminds us that fought for their dignity and their existence. Unfortunately, this fight is not over. Anti-Gypsyism is real and prevents some citizens from participating in public life. The European Roma Rights Center currently has 171 active legal cases ongoing in different European countries, with 49% of these cases relating to police brutality or harassment. According to the Agency for Fundamental Rights, 80% of Roman communities continue to live below the poverty line. Commissioner Elena Dalli has also mentioned this in the European Parliament this April. Discrimination against Roma is banned in all EU member states, and the European institutions have been working on Roma inclusion and participation for decades. Still, Roma are not given equal opportunities in the European Union today to access education, to find jobs or housing. They are facing prejudice, harassment, and hate crimes. As chair of the high-level group on gender equality and diversity, I know I have a specific duty. I want the European Parliament as an employer to be more diverse and inclusive. Last November, the Bureau unanimously adopted my report on diversity, which includes measures to attract and retain talents coming from ethnically diverse backgrounds. This year, for instance, we aim at attracting more diverse trainees and hire qualified candidates coming from diverse backgrounds. In this effort, I'm sure Roma candidates will not be left behind. Thank you again for taking time out of your day to mark Romani Resistance Day. I wish you all a stimulating and inspirational discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, for these warm words. Now, I'm very happy that we have now the possibility to come physical together. We are here, we have time 2, 3 days, 4 days to speak each other the whole day. We have many possibilities to speak here in the Parliament. That means don't be hurry. We have time enough to share our information and to speak each other. We are here. My brother Peter is here. Dan is here. We have many possibilities to speak, many events every day, 4 events, and after then you come together. That means we don't must do everything on 1 hour. That means stay cool, be calm. We have time. And that's... Now I will give the floor, Marius.
Great. Thanks a lot, dear friends. The opening ceremony was quite short. We got to the end of it. But please share on your Facebook pages, because I see that you make lives, and that's awesome. Even if this is forbidden in the European Parliament, you are our brothers and sisters, and we are allowing you. Do it. But put there www.romaniweek.eu so people can follow it if you still make lives. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can see that many of you are also trying to sleep. It was a long morning. However, we have one more event of Pirenamența. I'm kindly asking you to be patient and to take part in the discussions, and afterwards, during the lunchtime, 1:30 or even 1, we will have a lunch served in front of this room. We will have a break. Then we will start the 3rd event of the day that is organized by the European Commission. We will have also, again, music interpretation, and then at the end of the day, the last event, it will be of our brothers from Kosovo. They will have the floor. Tomorrow, I'm kindly asking all of you, or those who registered, because today we had a huge problem. Those who registered, I'm not gonna wake you up again as today, so please be here at 8:30, okay? Because we are going to start at 9:30. So if you are here at 8:30, I'm gonna take the badges for all of you. You are going to enter. Tomorrow we have 4 events. The room is 1E2. It's also on the agenda. You go on www.romaniweek.eu and you see all the information there. Because now we are in a digital era. You just get a click and you find everything that you need. Wednesday, we have 2 rooms, 6Q2, the biggest one of the European Parliament, and Thursday, other events, but I will let you know from one day to another. My message for you, it's very clear. We are not here only to speak. We are here also to feel, and after we feel, we are here to act. The fact that you are here in this room, because of Mr. Franz, because of Mr. Polak, because of Mr. Dogi, because of the others, take it like a chance. Take it as an opportunity, not as a blessing. Right now we have our brothers and sisters in Ukraine that are dying. This Romani Week is dedicated to them and to those who are struggling to survive.
Yeah.
Immediately after you leave this room, remember that you have to make a choice. And the choice is the following. Am I going to change through what I do at least one life of my Romani people or not? And I'm so confident that all of you have the power and the courage to make change happen where you live and where you do your work. God bless all of you. See you all at 11:30 in the same room.